Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Thursday, March 9th, 2023. And we begin with lawmakers in New Mexico saying it's time to wake up and smell the chili as they urge their state to be the first to adopt an official aroma. According to the Associated Press, legislation recognizing roasted chilies as the official state smell passed its first committee vote on Tuesday. Roasted chilies are everywhere in New Mexico, from roadside stands to restaurants. The state, known also as the Land of Enchantment, produced more than 60% of the country's chili pepper crop in 2021 and ships its powders and spices worldwide. The bill's supporters hope the official state aroma will fire up tourism and put to rest its debate with neighboring Colorado over who has the best green chili. Prompted by the story, Axios polled its San Francisco readers as to what their city's official aroma should be. The top vote getter? Sourdough bread. They just can't catch a break. Californians are being told once again to batten down the hatches and prepare for yet another powerful winter storm. Millions of people across the northern part of the state are under flood watches, as weather officials predict the combination of heavy rain and snowmelt could lead to widespread flooding. CNN reports the Emergency Services Office in the Big Sur region of Monterey County is advising residents to stock up on enough food and essentials to last 2 weeks. This latest weather threat comes as much of the state has been hit with back-to-back rounds of heavy snow that closed roads and knocked out power for thousands. New York City's masking policy just took an interesting turn. Mayor Eric Adams is requesting members of the public lower their face masks briefly upon entering stores and restaurants to reassure workers that they are not up to no good and to make them identifiable to cameras. According to NPR, the plea comes as an attempt to reduce a spike in robberies, but it's prompting all sorts of questions about how store workers are supposed to enforce it and whether those with compromised immune systems may be putting themselves at risk, not to mention whether criminals would even follow the rules. In other KidNuz notes, TikTok's troubles are mounting. Tuesday, a bipartisan group of lawmakers announced legislation that would give President Biden more authority to regulate it in the U.S., up to and including an outright ban. At issue is the concern that the private data of Americans might end up in the hands of the Chinese government. The proposed law isn't just for TikTok. It would apply to other technologies and social media platforms that collect user information. No word yet on when the legislation might go to the whole House or whether it could pass. The mountains are moving. Chocolate maker Toblerone will remove the Matterhorn peak from its packaging when the company shifts production from Switzerland to Slovakia. According to the BBC, the pyramid-shaped bar modeled after the Alpine Peak will have to be redesigned due to Switzerland's Swissness rules that say national symbols are not allowed to be used to promote milk-based products not exclusively made in Switzerland. The 90s may not seem like ancient history to your parents, but to the American Girl doll company, they are. The doll collection is introducing 90s twins, Nikki and Isabel. According to the company, Nikki enjoys alternative rock music and skateboarding, while Isabel loves dancing, pop music, and all things pink. They also come with their own red Pizza Hut cup, CD mixes, and 90s items like a big desk computer with a wireless phone. That's it for KidNuz. Now today's KidNuz quiz. What state is lobbying for its own official aroma? New Mexico. How many weeks' worth of supplies are Big Sur residents being advised to stock up on ahead of this next storm? 2. What will disappear from Toblerone's packaging? It's famous Matterhorn Mountain. What are the names of the two new 90s-themed American Girl dolls? Nikki and Isabel. In today's KidNuz kicker, want some prestige with your pepperoni? Try the sport of pizza acrobatics. Also called pizza freestyle or pizza tossing, this athletic endeavor has actually existed since the 1980s, according to the Washington Post. Competitors toss balls of stretched pizza dough high in the air and perform mesmerizing tricks, sometimes under a time limit. 13-time world champion Tony Gemignani from Castro Valley, California, has been spinning dough for 2 decades and says tricks that you see a Harlem Globetrotter do with a basketball, we do with a pizza. He says while it may sound funny, pizza acrobatics is no joke and involves stamina, agility, focus, and coordination, especially as the dough's durability is always changing, sometimes due to the weather. And a big hello to our teachers and classrooms, Mr. Jim's Tigers at Jerome Academy in Jerome, Idaho, Mrs. Cool's Wildcats at Rosewood Elementary in Jenison, Michigan, Mrs. Finn's class and Mow the Moose at Mount Pleasant School in Nashua, New Hampshire, where they believe, achieve, and succeed. And to California for Mrs. Silberman's Huskies at Hicks Canyon Elementary in Irvine, and Mrs. Sanchez and her LME Mustangs at Los Medanos Elementary in Pittsburgh. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share KidNuz with all your friends and family. And we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.